is Monday, December 9th, 2019. I'm Yael V, and these are the Cryptosphere's top stories for today, brought to you by BLOCKTV's reporters. Ethereum's Istanbul hard fork is live. The system-wide upgrade is the network's third in 2019. Tech giant Microsoft unveils a token and a data management service on the blockchain. And in its annual report of the top 10 cryptos, Bloomberg names the best performing currency, and it's not Bitcoin. We're going to start off with the Ethereum network's long-awaited Istanbul upgrade, which is now live after the majority of the nodes, including major exchanges, have authorized the hard fork. Now, for some details on what Istanbul means for the network and some of the reactions, including its impact on the price, BLOCKTV's Zaki Hennessy joins us. Zaki, what are those new developments?
Well, Yael, there's a lot going on. The Istanbul fork has been implemented. It makes a lot of minor changes to the network, most notably that it will make mining a lot easier for miners who don't have fancy ASIC cards in their rigs. This will allow for less expensive rigs to compete in the mining field, which strengthens the blockchain overall.
Okay, reactions from the community to this, groundbreaking hard fork?
That's right. So the community generally is positive. By this time, 96% of mining nodes have been updated to be compatible with the fork, and Twitter is generally positive, although there's not so much response aside from a big tweet from Vitalik Buterin, who congratulated Sparkpool for mining the Istanbul fork block.
Thank you, Zaki Hennessy, for this report. Now, in yet another expansion into blockchain, tech giant Microsoft has recently announced a token reward system to help encourage growth and creativity in its Azure Heroes community. BLOCKTV's Aaron Spitzer has the details.
Tech giant Microsoft is going all in on blockchain with several new features. Having utilized Engine's technology to create a system called Azure Heroes, which rewards its participants with unique non-fungible tokens, the tech giant expanded into the block with other features. One such product, Azure Blockchain Tokens, a preview tool to simplify the ability to define, create, and manage compliant tokens that are built to industry standards. In addition, a new feature of Azure Blockchain Service, currently in beta phase, captures blockchain ledger, transforms it, and then delivers that data to multiple sources via off-chain databases. Furthermore, the behemoth is continuing to build its investments for blockchain developers with updates to the Azure Blockchain Development Kit for Ethereum extensions meant to improve developers' productivity. The company is working with the goal of democratizing complex technologies and to simplify bureaucratic processes to solve shared problems in a trusted manner.
And Aaron Spitzer joins us now from the BLOCKTV's Newsdesk. Aaron, this just apparently the tip of the spear for Microsoft's blockchain effort. What else are they working on?
So Microsoft has really geared its blockchain as a service to enterprise use in general. One use case of that is they recently had their GE Aviation, which is really just streamlining the supply chain for airplane aviation supplies to make that easier. And so they're kind of hoping that those tools are adopted faster, and they keep doing that. This is particularly a rapid launch what they've been doing, and I'm sure there is a lot more to come in the future.
Thank you, Aaron Spitzer, for this report. Nothing like Microsoft. In the lead up to Telegram's big day in a U.S. court this coming February, the SEC is trying to obtain the testimony and documents from the company's former chief investment advisor regarding the $1.7 billion token sale of the messaging app in 2018. It is the latest in the legal battle Telegram is waging in the United States after the SEC slapped them with a cease and desist order just 2 weeks before the token's expected launch date at the end of October this year. As to how Telegram got to where it stands today, here's Asha Westrup-Evans with the background.
Telegram, founded in 2013 by brothers Pavel and Nikolai Durov. The messaging service has over 365 million lifetime downloads as of August 2019. In Q2 2017, Telegram began developing the Telegram Open Network, a blockchain network that will work on the Telegram Messenger service with native tokens, grams. Then, in 2018, Ton completed a blockbuster ICO that raised about $1.7 billion by selling gram tokens to accredited investors in 2 phases. In the first phase of the ICO, each token was available at 37 cents. and that figure rose to $1.33 in the second phase. In July 2019, Japan-based exchange Liquid conducted a public gram token sale of secondary market grams. September, Telegram released the TON network code for the community to try out full nodes. Then, October 11, 2019, disaster. The SEC announced that it had filed an emergency restraining order against the Telegram group and its subsidiary, TON. Scrambling to respond, Telegram sought investor approval before announcing October 23rd that it is pushing the TON launch date back from October 31st, 2019 to April 30, 2020. Telegram is supposed to face the SEC in court February 18th and 19th, 2020.
Asher Westrup Evans joins me in studio right now. So who is this man the SEC wants to interview or interrogate leading up to that Telegram trial?
Yeah, so in this new upcoming filing, the SEC has requested to speak with former Chief Investment Advisor John Hyman. Now, he was apparently integral in getting a number of different investors on board with the Telegram network, and apparently has a number of pivotal documents, according to reports and court filings, that would indicate further details that the SEC wants ahead of that February 18th, 19th court hearing. Doesn't necessarily bode badly for Telegram in and of itself, but certainly this is a sign that the SEC is progressing with some very intense lines of investigation.
Entirely, and which begs the question, are investors worried at all?
So, yeah, BLOCKTV has spoken to sources and investors themselves, and they are saying that no, at the moment they're not particularly phased. They are sort of in a wait-and-see kind of stand at the moment, and I guess they're just going to see what happens when these filings do go ahead and the court hearings do go ahead come February.
Asher Westrup Evans, I want to thank you so much for this report. Now, the Plus token scammers who managed to swindle an unbelievable $3 billion from crypto holders may be behind bars, but the fallout from their efforts is still being felt, with some claiming that it is affecting the price of Bitcoin on a continuing basis. Crime reporter Yona Hochhauser has the details.
Imagine I told you the biggest Ponzi scam since Bernie Madoff and then the top 3 biggest in the history of the world happened this year, and you never even heard of it. What if I told you we have a public record showing exactly where the stolen money is, but there's nothing authorities can do to get that money back? It's called Plus Token, and it got away with $3 billion. The premise was similar to other Ponzi's. Invest in me and my product, and I promise you high returns, this time in the form of a token called the Plus Coin. It drew in a reported 3 million users, mainly in Asia. On June 27th, 6 members of the Plus Token scam were arrested in Vanuatu. But that didn't stop the movement of the stolen Bitcoin, over 200,000 Bitcoin at that. The scammers employed what is called a Bitcoin mixer, where one's Bitcoin is mixed with other people's Bitcoin. The mistake the scammers made was trying to mix too much Bitcoin at once. These large inputted amounts all can be traced back to the scammer's address. The Plus Token scammers mixed over 54,000 Bitcoin in just a 2-month period. Most of these poorly mixed coins were sent to the Huobi exchange. Ergo BTC told us, as far as Huobi goes, I'm guessing they are aware of this. You can't be unaware of over 100K in volume, even if the scammers made dozens of fake accounts. Many of the deposits Huobi addresses are more than 50 Bitcoin. That is very difficult to hide. They're probably just absorbing all the Bitcoin volume and collecting the trading fees. But even with all this information, the mastermind behind the scam is still at large.
Yona Hochhauser joined me in studio. Yona, what is Huobi saying in all of this?
Yeah, so Huobi reached out to comment. They have not responded. And this is quite interesting if they actually are aware, that these funds are stolen or on their exchange. And furthermore, many people are claiming that the main damage done by this scam, besides stealing all that money from innocent victims, is actually that's causing the drop in Bitcoin price because it's just dumping tons of Bitcoin volume onto exchanges.
Yeah, theories, but then again. Thank you, Yona Hochhauser. Now, as we near the end of the year, it is time for end of the year rankings. Bloomberg provided its list of best performing cryptos of 2019, and drumroll, number 1 will shock you. Asher, give us the breakdown. I'm trying to keep him, a clear face here. Yes.
Keep the mystery on this one, Yael. Yes, and the prime coin itself, Bitcoin, being knocked off the chart within the top 10 coins. It didn't make the winning spot on the list. In fact, Binance Coin did with 150% growth throughout 2019. It has made the top of the charts. Bitcoin still getting a humble 98% growth year on year over the course of 2019. Some other coins, however, didn't perform so well. XRP, the big loser, down 38%. Stellar as well, down 40%. But overall, a positive year for cryptocurrencies, the top 10 all round. There was positive traction, and definitely, if we're wrapping up 2019, we could say things could be worse.
It's a good point. Thank you, Asher Westrup Evans. We're going to finish up today with the troll of the day, and Yona Hochhaus is still here to share that take. Yona, okay, who's the troll of the day?
Well, the U.S. Marshal Service released a fraud advisory warning to citizens that scammers have been pretending to be U.S. Marshal officers and FBI agents in order to get the victims to deposit cash in a Bitcoin ATM in order to get them out of made-up arrest warrants. So whatever you do, don't believe any notification or message saying they are the U.S. Marshals, no matter how official they may sound or the message may look, unless, of course, they are actually from the U.S. Marshals like this one. Or wait, is the U.S. Marshals preparing me in the event that scammers will pretend to be Marshals so they can scam me for Bitcoin through the use of U.S. Marshal warning about scammers? Or is this the scammers pretending to be the Marshals who are warning about the scammers, pretending to be the Marshals so they could scam me by pretending to be the Marshals? Or do the U.S. Marshals get scammed by scammers into thinking that scammers are pretending to be the Marshals to scam victims, and thus the actual U.S. Marshal warning about scam U.S. Marshal warnings is all a big scam?
We have lost Yona Hochhauser forever, and that was Around the Block for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, of course, to BLOCKTV for more cryptocurrency and blockchain news throughout the day.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.